So hello there students, welcome back to another video lesson. So after nating ma-discuss yung laws of exponents, so our next video lesson for grade 9 mathematics quarter 2 week 4, so we will be simplifying expressions with rational exponents. So during your grade 7 and grade 8 years, so na-discuss na po sa inyo yung pag-simplify ng expressions using laws of exponents. But this time, we will be dealing with rational exponents. But then again, applied pa rin naman po yung mga laws na yon dito sa lesson natin na ito. So let's start. So for our lesson objectives, first of course, we will recall rational numbers. So i-define natin, magbibigay tayo ng example ng rational numbers. And then, we will define rational exponents. As well as, we will write expressions with rational exponents as radicals and vice versa. And then, of course, we will evaluate and simplify expression with rational exponents. So, kung anong pinagkaiba ng evaluate and simplify, so makikita po natin yan during our discussion. So first, we will be defining rational numbers. So review na lang po yung rational numbers. It's because na took up nyo na po ito noong grade 7 kayo. So a rational number is a number that can be written in the form of a over b, where a and b are integers and b should not be equal to 0. Hence, whole numbers, fractions, mixed numbers, and decimals are rational numbers. So again, pag rational number, pwede po siyang isulat sa form na a over b, na para siyang fraction. So wherein yung a tsaka b integers, it can be positive, negative. And then, meron din siyang condition that b should not be equal to 0. Why is it b should not be equal to 0? It's because magkakaroon siya ng undefined value. And then, there are types of rational numbers that can be written in the form of a over b. First and foremost is whole numbers. So pag sinabi nating whole numbers, the set of positive integers, and then included din dito yung 0. Pag fractions naman, so syempre usually ito yung classical example ng rational number. So meron siyang numerator tsaka denominator. And then pag mixed numbers naman, pinaghalong whole number tsaka fractions. And then decimals, syempre alam naman natin ang mga decimals, yung may decimal point, okay, yung tuldok. And then, ayan po yung mga types of rational numbers. So after natin discussing rational numbers, let's have rational exponents. So a rational exponent is an exponent with fractions that can be written in the form of b raised to m over n, where m and n are integers. So let's have examples. 3 raised to 1/2, 7 raised to negative 2/5, and x raised to 3/4 are rational exponents. So yung mga rational exponents na sinasabi natin dyan, yung pong 1/2, negative 2/5, tsaka 3/4. So, yung mga rational exponents na yan, kadalasan pong ginagamit po natin dyan, yung mga fractions. That is why, considered sila as fractional exponents. So, hindi naman po tayo malilito sa mga fractional exponents is because meron po yung numerator tsaka denominator. So, let's now move on to writing radicals using rational exponents. So, a radical can be written as a rational exponent. So, para hindi po kayo malito at magkaroon po kayo ng idea about radical, ito po yung mga may radical sign, yung parang may square root, ganon. So, that is b raised to m raised to n is equal to the nth root of b raised to m, where m is the power to which the radicand b is raised and n serves as the root or index. So, yung b po dyan, nagsisilbi po siyang radicand. Like for example, the square root of 25. So yung 25 po dito, yun po yung ating tinatawag na radicand. Next, yung m naman, yun yung power na kung saan nire-raise natin yung radicand. Like for example, the cube root of 7 squared. So yung squared po na ito po yung m, na kung saan nire-raise yung radicand na 7. And then, yung n naman serves as the root or index. So usually, nakikita natin yung root na yan or index dun sa labas ng radical sign and then maliit lang ang pagkasulat. Yun yung letter n. So, kapag square root siya, we don't need to write 2. Like for example, dito sa square root of 25. So, hindi na natin kailangan pang isulat yung 2 na yan. Pero kapag cube root, fourth root, fifth root, up to the nth root, so kung anong root man yung tinutukoy natin or ginagamit natin, kailangan po nating i-indicate. Like for example, ayan, cube root of 7 squared. So, yung index po nito is 3. Again, kapag walang index, usually, square root po yun, yung kanyang index, which is 2. So, let's have the first activity. Write the following rational exponents to radical expressions and vice versa. So, ang gagawin po natin dito, yung mga rational exponent, isusulat natin as radical expressions. And then, meron tayong radical expressions dito na isusulat natin into rational exponents. Yung first natin, rational exponents to radical expressions. So, ayan po yung ating mga given. So, the first one, a raised to 1/3. So, yung a po natin dito, yun yung radicand. And then, yung 1, yung power, na kung saan naka-raise yung radicand natin. And then, yung 3, ang magsisilbing index o yung root. So, pag sinulat po natin yan, cube root of a. So, hindi natin kailangan isulat na cube root of a raised to the first power. So, kapag a lang po, understood na yung exponent or yung power ay 1. So, ibig sabihin, a raised to 1/3 is equal to this one, cube root of a. Next, x raised to 2/5. So, x is the radicand. 2, ito yung power na kung saan naka-raise yung radicand natin na x. And then yung 5, yung root or index. So, susulat natin yan as the fifth root of x squared. Next, y raised to 3/4. So, yung y po dito, yun yung radicand. And then yung 3, yun yung magsisilbing power or exponent ng radicand natin na y. And then 4, yun naman yung root or index. So, we can write this expression as fourth root of y cubed. So, yung next naman, radical expression to rational exponents. Yung kabaligtaran po ng kanina. So, let's have the first one, the square root of p. So, dahil yung index po niya is 2, kaya po hindi nyo po nakikita yung index na 2 dyan. And then, yung exponent po nung p, yung radicand, ayan, understood po na 1. So, yung square root of p, pwede natin siyang isulat into rational exponents as p raised to 1/2. So, again, yung p, yun yung ating radicand. Yung 1, ito yung exponent ng radicand. And then, yung 2, yun yung index. Kaya siya naging square root. Dahil 2 yung kanyang index. Next, the cube root of w squared. So, ayun, narinig nyo naman po, the cube root. So, ibig sabihin, yung 3 yun yung magiging index. And then, w yung radicand. And then, 2, ito po yung exponent ng radicand. So, susulat natin yan as w raised to 2/3. Next, 8th root of z raised to the 5th power. So, 8th root. So, 8 is our index. And then, z ito yung radicand, and then 5, yun naman yung exponent or power nung radicand. So, susulat natin siya as z raised to 5 over 8. So, that is how you write radical expressions to rational exponents. So, again, itong mga given natin yan, yung mga sagot natin na yan, kapag change natin yan sa radical expressions, babalik lang tayo dun sa given. Ayan, yung mga may radical signs. Next, simplifying expressions with rational exponents. To simplify expressions with rational exponents, apply the laws of exponents for integral exponents. So, sinisimplify natin yung mga expressions with rational exponents, it's because kailangan. Kung pwede silang isimplify. If not, hindi na natin kailangan pang isimplify, of course. And then, kailangan natin gamitin or i-apply yung mga laws of exponents dito, specifically yung mga integral exponents. Ayan. So, yung integral exponents na sinasabi ko, yung positive, tsaka negative, tsaka yung zero exponent. So, let's have the second activity. Evaluate the expressions with rational exponents. So, yung evaluate dito, ang ibig niyang sabihin ay kailangan nating makakuha ng specific value dun sa isi-simplify natin na expressions. Like for example, square root of 4. Pag evaluate natin ang square root of 4, our answer will be 2. Ayan. Na-evaluate na yung square root of 4. So let's have example number 1 and 2. Number 1, 25 raised to 1/2. So, yung isang paraan kung paano natin pwedeng i-simplify ito is isulat natin siya into radical expression. So, that is the square root of 25. Again, the index is 2. And then yung 25 ang magiging radicand. And then itong 1 na to, ito po yung exponent ng 25. So, basically, square root of 25 is 5. The other way around, pwede nating express yung 25 into its exponential form. And that is 5 squared. Tsaka natin erase sa 1/2. As you can see, yung ating rational exponent na 1/2, pwede natin siyang i-multiply sa 2, applying laws of exponents, na magiging siyang 5 raised to 2 over 2. And then, 2 over 2 is 5 raised to 1, or can be simplified as 5 only. Ibig sabihin, 25 raised to 1/2 is equal to 5. Tama rin po itong square root of 25 is equal to 5. So again, kung ano naman ang gagamitin natin, okay lang din as long as we yield the same answer. Okay, next. The quantity of negative 8 raised to 2/3, ayan, pwede siyang isulat as cube root of the quantity of negative 8 squared. Ayan. And then, simplify natin siya, cube root of the quantity of negative 8 squared, that is negative 8 times negative 8, magiging 64. And the cube root of 64 is 4. Kasi 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So, yung other method naman, so pwede natin siyang express into exponential form. Magiging ganito siya. Negative 2 raised to 3 and then raised to 2/3. Na pwede nating i-multiply yung 3 tsaka 2/3 na magiging the quantity of negative 2 raised to 2. And then, simplifying negative 2 raised to 2 or negative 2 squared, that is positive 4. So, alin man method, nag-come up naman tayo sa same answer. So, let's have example number 3, 81 raised to 3/4. So, express natin siya into exponential form. So, yung 81 po, pwede siyang express as 3 raised to the 4th power. And that is 3 times 3, 9 times 3, 27, and another 3, 81. And then raised to 3/4. So, you can see, ayan, pwede na naman natin siyang i-multiply. So, pakita lang natin, 3 raised to 4 times 3/4. And then, kapag minultiply natin yan, kitang-kita na yung 4, tsaka yung 4 na yan, makakancel. Ang matitira na lang po is 3. And that is 3 cube. And then, express natin yung 3 cube, 3 times 3 times 3, and that is 27. So, ibig sabihin, 81 raised to 3/4 is equal to 27. So, itong 81 raised to 81 cube, pwede rin naman natin express as 4th root of 81 cube. Yung 81, multiply lang natin ng 3 times sa 81. And, of course, mahaba yung sagot. However, magka-come up naman din tayo sa sagot na 27. Next, 100 raised to negative 5 over 2. So, yung 100, perfect square siya, na pwede natin express as 10 squared, di ba? 10 times 10 is 100, and then raised to negative 5 over 2, na pwedeng isulat as 10 raised to 2 times negative 5 over 2. Ayan. So, multiplying the exponents, 2 and negative 5 over 2, makakancel yung 2, and then matitira na lang po is yung negative 5. So, 10 raised to negative 5. So, you can see yung ating exponent, negative siya. Hindi po natin pwedeng iwanan na ganyan ang sagot. Kailangan po positive exponent. Negative exponent po kasi yan. So, ang gagawin natin, so sulat lang natin dito, ililipat natin yung 10 raised to negative 5 sa denominator para maging positive exponent. And then, magiging ganito siya. 1 over 10 raised to the 5th power. Again, hindi natin pwedeng iwanan yung 10 raised to the 5th power. It's because pwede naman natin siyang isimplify. So, ibig sabihin lang nun, imumultiply natin yung 10 5 times. So, 10 times 10 is 100 times 10, 1,000, another 10, 10,000, and then another 10, 100,000. Ibig sabihin, 1 over 10 raised to the 5th power is equal to 1 over 100,000. So, ibig sabihin, yung sagot natin for 100 raised to negative 5 over 2 is 1 over 100,000. So, after nating evaluate yung expressions with rational exponents, next naman is simplify the expressions with rational exponents. So, kapag simplify po kasi, involve po dito yung mga variables, yung mga literal coefficients. So, kapag evaluate kasi, constants lang yung mga sagot. Wala silang variables. So, let's have example number 1 and 2. So, number 1, the quantity 9n raised to 10 raised to 1/2. So, pwede siyang express as ganito. So, yung 9, pwede siyang isulat sa kanyang exponential form na 3 squared. And then, n raised to the 10th power raised to 1/2. And then, pwede nating paghiwalayin yan na ganito, 3 squared, i-multiply natin yung mga terms sa loob ng parenthesis dun sa rational exponent. And then, magiging ganito siya. Ayan. And then, dito muna tayo sa 3 raised to 2 times 1/2. Ayan. Makakancel yung 3, yung 2. And then, matitira na lang is 1. So, ang sagot lang natin dito is 3. And then, n. Tapos, 10 times 1/2. So, 10, makakancel, magiging 5. And then, yung 2, magiging 1. And then, 5 times 1, that is 5. So, matitira po is 5. So, ibig sabihin, ang final answer natin is 3n raised to the 5th power na nakasimplify na. Next, the quantity of 125n raised to the 6th power raised to 2/3. So, yung 125, pwede siyang express as 5 cube. Perfect cube kasi siya. And then, n raised to 6 raised to 2/3. Ayan. So, kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, paghiwalay natin, 5 raised to 3. Then, multiply natin sa 2/3. Tapos, yung n raised to 6. Multiply natin sa 2/3. Ayan. And then, makakancel yung 3 dito, tsaka 3 sa the denominator. So, matitira lang po is 5 squared. And then, dito naman sa variable natin, so, yung 6 makakancel magiging 2. And then, yung 3 magiging 1 na lang. And then, ang matitira, 2 tsaka 2. So, pag multiply lang natin yung 2 tsaka 2 na yon, and that is 4. N raised to the 4th power. So, is this the final answer? No. So, kailangan pa rin nating i-simplify po yung 5 squared. And that is 5 times 5, 25. So, our final answer will be 25 n raised to the 4th power. So, let's have example number 3 and 4. X raised to 1/2 times x raised to 3/2. So, kailangan nating i-apply dito yung product rule sa laws of exponents na kapag same bases, ina-add lang yung exponents. And then, kapag yung mga exponents, similar fractions, madali lang yon. Copy lang natin yung denominator tsaka natin i-add yung numerator. And then, kapag naman hindi pareho yung ating mga exponents, dissimilar fractions sila, so, kailangan natin kunin yung LCD. So, let's have number 3. X raised to 1/2 times x raised to 3/2. So, similar fractions sila, yung exponents. So, ang gagawin lang natin, pag-a-add lang natin. So, ayan. 1/2 plus 3/2. So, 1 plus 3, that is 4 over 2. Divide natin 4 sa 2, and that is 2. So, our final answer will be x squared. Next, 3 raised to 2/3 times 3 raised to 5 over 3. So, sulat lang natin yung base na 3, and then 2/3 plus 5 over 3. 2 plus 5, that is 7 over 3. So, yan po yung ating final answer. So, kung nire-require naman tayo na yung final answer natin written in radical form, so, isusulat lang natin to as cube root of 3 raised to 7. And then, pwede nating i-divide yung 7 sa 3. So, ilang 3 ang pwedeng kunin sa 7? Diba? Dalawa. So, magiging ganito siya nun. Cube root of 3 raised to the 6th power times 3. And then, since dalawang 3 cube ang pwede nating kunin dito sa radical niya, itong 3 raised to the 6th power na to, ilalabas natin siya, magiging 3 squared. And then, maiiwan sa loob yung 3. And then, simplify natin, 3 squared, that is 9. So, our final answer will be 9 cube root of 3. So, yung next example natin, so, kung kanina, yung mga exponents, yung fractional exponents niya ay pareho. So, ngayon naman, yung 5 and 6, hindi po pareho. So, ang gagawin lang natin dito, kukunin natin yung LCD, yung least common denominator. So, sulat lang natin 2a and then raised to 1/4 plus 1/2. And then, yung LCD ng 4 tsaka 2 is 4. So, ibig sabihin, sulat lang natin yung LCD ng 4 and then, i-add natin sila. So, 4 divided by 4, that is 1. And then, times 1, the numerator, 1. And then, plus 4 divided by 2, that is 2, times 1, that is 2. And then, isimplify natin 2a raised to 1 plus 2, that is 3, over 4. So, our final answer will be 2a raised to 3/4. Next, negative m raised to 2/3 times negative 4m raised to 1/4. So, dahil negative times negative, that is positive. So, magiging 4m raised to 2/3 plus 1/4. Ayan. So, the LCD, 3 tsaka 4 is 12. Ayan. So, isusulat lang natin as 4m raised to, yung LCD niya 12, sulat natin sa ibaba. And then, again, 12 divided by 3, 4 times 2, that is 8. Next, plus 12 divided by 4, that is 3, times 1, 3. Sulat natin 3. And then, i-add natin sila, 4m raised to 8 plus 3, that is 11 over 12. So, our final answer will be 4m raised to 11 over 12. Next, example number 7 and 8. So, the quantity p raised to 2/3 raised to 3. So, parang ganito siya. P raised to 2/3 times p raised to 2/3 times p raised to 2/3. So, tatlong beses. So, since, ayan, magkakamukha sila, pwede nating i-apply yung ina-add yung exponents. So, product rule, magiging 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And that is p raised to 6 over 3. And that is 6 divided by 3, 2. So, our final answer will be p squared. Next, the quantity k raised to 1/4 raised to negative 2. Okay, so since negative yung exponent natin, ganito ang magiging itsura niya. 1 all over the quantity of k raised to 1/4 raised to 2. And then, i-multiply natin yung 1/4 sa 2. So, magiging 1 over k raised to 2/4. And then, pwede natin i-simplify yung 2/4 as 1 over raised to k raised to 1/2. So, this will be our final answer. So, let's have example number 9 and 10. So, yung number 9 natin, makikita nyo, same basis sila. So, ang gagawin lang po natin dito is isusubtract natin yung exponents nila, yung rational exponents. So, magiging ganito siya. 3 raised to 3/4 minus 1/2. And then, since hindi sila magkamukha ng denominator, kukunin natin ang LCD, which is 4. So, susulat natin as 3, and then raised to, yung LCD na 4, and then, subtract natin sila. So, 4 divided by 4, 1, times 3, 3. And then, 4 divided by 2, that is 2, times negative 1, negative 2. And then, simplify, 3 minus 2, that is 1. So, 1/4. So, our final answer will be 3 raised to 1/4. So, again, kapag nire-require naman tayo na sagot natin is radical expression, that is 4th root of 3. Next, 16x raised to 2/3 all over 4x raised to 1/4. So, dito pwede natin i-divide yung 16 tsaka 4. So, pag dinivide natin yon, 16 divided by 4, that is 4. And then, yung kanyang variable na x raised to 2/3, so yung term na to, tsaka ito, Isubtract natin. So, magiging x raised to 2/3 minus 1/4. Ayan. 4 tapos x raised to, ang LCD ng 3 and 4 is 12. So, sulat natin 12. And then 12 divided by 3, that is 4 times 2, 8. And then 12 divided by 4, that is 3 times negative 1, negative 3. We simplify 4x raised to 8 minus 3, that is 5 over 12. So our answer will be 4x raised to 5 over 12. So after nating i-simplify yung expressions with rational exponents, our next lesson will be derive the laws of radicals. So dito na po yung pinaka main discussion natin, laws of radicals. So magkakaroon tayo dito ng derivation ng laws of radicals. Again, applied pa rin po dito yung laws of exponents. It's because na-derive yung mga laws of radicals sa laws of exponents. And then, makikita nyo rin sa susunod na video, after ng laws of radicals is yung operations on radicals. So, yung addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.